Hello, folks, and welcome to Osquery Office Hours. It's the end of July, and at least here in Boston, we have torrential rain. So I hope weather is good for the rest of you. But welcome. Announcements and highlights. Maybe as an interesting highlight, we seem to have gotten a whole bunch of PRs in from people, so
A
that's kind
ton
of
of
cool.
PRs. I think it's because of AI making it easier for people to do them. That's my guess. I haven't seen anything like egregious though, so that's nice. Um,
I haven't had a
I,
chance to look at them, so I don't
I
know.
haven't. I've only looked at some of them, but I can say that like the vulnerability reports that we got a few weeks ago were like all. I think all ended up being like not legit and probably generated by AI. So that was
Yeah.
unfortunate. I don't know like what the distinction is necessarily, but like from at least what I've seen of these PRs so far, they look good. So that's great. But I am putting some more time into doing that. Um, Seth stepped away. When Seth's back, I have an agenda item I'd like to discuss. Stefano, anything from you?
No, not really. I mean, I know I contributed a couple of PRs. One to update the OpenSSL version that closed a lot of issues, and the other to remove the libexpath library, which also closed a lot of issues. But that's it from me.
So I just added an agenda item for talking about. I'd like to propose that we do another minor version release because it's been a while now. We've got some important stuff to get out, and I kept hoping that I would have this last sort of like tool chain related dependency related PR done, which is like the C++20 and boost one. And there's just like some networking related stuff that it has broken on Windows, at least in the tests. That might just be something exclusive to the tests. I'm not really sure, but I haven't been able to figure out how to resolve it yet. And I'm not really pleased seeing the releases continue to be held up. So I wonder about the possibility of reverting the Linux toolchain changes temporarily, getting a minor release out, and then reverting or reapplying those changes.
I think kind of up to you. We haven't been able to roll out 523 yet because of the Sentinel-1 issue. So
Oh wow.
We're a little lagging right now.
Okay.
I don't have a good sense of how much do we have pending a new release?
Let's see. I thought there was a way the GitHub UI would like easily show me which.
Yeah, I think. I wonder if they changed it.
Yeah, there used to be like a.
It used to be on the release pages. It would say how many
commit to this since this release, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, but I should be able to compare it to master though. Yeah, okay. There are 32 commits.
Oh, that
A
is
lot of those
getting
I
pretty
think
big.
are like CI related changes that I made that shouldn't really change the outputs. But yeah, there's some various fixes. Some like there's some security bug fixes which you already released in the patch release. And then there's you know, the OpenSSL upgrade that Stefano did, the removing libxpat, the Fritz put in some Chrome extensions changes, and then there's a bunch of open pull requests right now that some of which would probably be nice to get in there.
I feel like sorry, I'm reading over the commit list right now. I mean, honestly, these commits aren't that compelling. But it has been April, May, June. It has been about 2 months. So I feel like
Maybe I'll give it like another day of trying to work on this this C++ 20 boost upgrade, and that's been just like agonizingly slow because of the way that my dev process is basically. And I think I've now improved that, so hopefully that would help. But yeah, I don't want to be holding up the release, basically.
I feel like we should probably figure out which of the table contributions we want and like get a bunch of these open PRs merged, and then once they're merged in, I think then it becomes more meaningful to talk about cutting a release. Because like there's what do we have for open PRs? Right, there's like Java packages, which is kind of interesting. There's this agent skills one, which I don't know what I think about, but it's certainly interesting.
Definitely interesting. I saw that there was quite a bit of commentary on that.
Anyone other than me?
Mike Myers, I saw. I mean, I have sort of two somewhat competing schools of thought here. One is I'm interested in seeing us potentially being less restrictive on what sorts of tables that we allow into Osquery core as far as reading full file contents. You know, I definitely don't think that we should allow tables that, you know, that allow people to like get the contents of photos or something like that, but that's not what this is. And then on the other hand, this is also just a perfect candidate to implement as an extension table. Like if you want this, put it into extension. I think like Fleet would put this into our extension tables, but it would have to be written in Go because that's how we deploy ours. So that
I feel like I still feel pretty cautious about file contents because I think that can be a very sharp edge, right? Like if you even if you did this in Go, it would actually be even worse in Go, right? Because some of these skill files get really large. So we're starting to talk about just large amounts of data being shoved through SQL marshaling, which tends to become non-performant. So like I'm always a little bit cautious about what do we like, there's like, what do we do that exposes data we don't want exposed, and what do we do that exposes a knife edge that you will cut yourself on. But I feel much more in favor of like everything else in this PR. I'm like, I don't know, is this seems at least as valuable as the Docker container stuff that we merged.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't. I actually I didn't read the code yet. I just read the discussion, but to my understanding, it's not like this lets you get the contents of any arbitrary file. Like it has to be a file
Yeah,
that's
it's gonna be
formatted,
based on the paths.
and it has to be sort of formatted with like the front matter
Yeah,
that
yeah.
lets it be known. I guess like it might be helpful to clarify, like, are the concerns here about privacy? Are the concerns about security? Are the concerns about reliability?
I feel like I have a bunch of swirling. Those are good questions because I feel like my stance is a little bit fuzzy here. I feel like, sorry, I'm like writing this as we talk. I feel like as a project, we have a pretty clear stance, right? Like we don't want to be pulling file content. We kind of want to be pulling metadata and structural content. And inside Launcher, we've kind of followed that as well, right? We don't really pull file content, although we do pull, we'll pull structural things. So Collide has a JSON table and, an XML table and things like that, and an INI table to kind of go with the plist tables. So that feels okay. And I feel like pulling metadata about the skills feels correct as well, right? That feels kind of like I don't know if that's going to be valuable, but that seems like a good enough experiment. But then when you get into skill, like the full content of the skill, I'm like, I don't know. Like, does that push the juice squeeze ratio wrong? That starts to smell a little funny to me. Like, do I have is it like clearly wrong? No, it's not clearly wrong, but like it doesn't smell right, right? It's sort of like we have all of these tables around, enumerating the installed packages, right? But we would never actually return the package, right? It doesn't. Even though there's nothing in a Python package that should be private, we would never return a Python package through the Python packages table. That smells wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it just sort of, it doesn't smell right to me. And I feel like you could kind of say like, well, but this is relatively speaking a small text file and there might be enough value there that we should do it. But I'm like, it doesn't feel in keeping with kind of the bounds that we've laid out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, let's say, I think I understand the argument that you're making. I think it makes sense from that perspective. I'm not immediately sure that it's like, that I agree that we're really that consistent though.
We try. I mean, I think we also have a lot of historic baggage, right? Like we would never accept the curl table today. I mean, maybe we would today, but we wouldn't have a year ago.
Yeah. Yes.
So I don't know. And I think I would probably also be more interested in shipping it without the content. And then if we discover that like it would be a lot more valuable with that, then it would be interesting to go back and add it because I wonder how much usage it'll get.
What are the columns besides the content? Oh, go ahead, Stefano.
Yeah, I was wondering, but why the carving table, which we already have, cannot be used in that case? So like you use, I know it gives much less information if you don't get the content, but you scope out what's there, and then you use the carver, which, I mean, doesn't it just already copies basically files as is?
Yeah, I mean,
ships them out. Yeah,
that's a possibility with vanilla Osquery, and I can also say like in FleetD, we like there's a file contents extension table. You just get the file. You just get the contents of a text file. Like, so there you could do it. And so that's why I'm like, well, an extension, like, do whatever you want. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like I like that model though, where like we have some tables that provide kind of metadata and structural data, and then like either an extension or a different table or the carve system where you would use to get the full content. And if you want both, you can always join them. And
Yes. So I'm pulling up the PR. What are actually the columns that we would have? Name, description, version, license, compatibility, allowed tools, agent, scope, directory path, SHA, size, mtime. Well, I guess arguably, like maybe you'd remove the SHA because that can be done through the hash table already.
I'd probably leave the SHA in though, because I like some duplication. Okay. I mean, I don't know. You could argue that we should drop the SHA because then we could have a normalized set of hashes if we drove it all through there. But like, I also feel okay leaving. I don't feel like we have to dedupe everything, right? Like, we'd certainly include basic file information. It's not like we would say, no file ownership information for you. Go join against the users table or something. So I don't know. I feel like I don't have a really good rubric. It's just kind of like what feels right.
Well, I think ultimately I'd like to see us make some decision quickly, and if like the just for one, like for engagement, and two, like engagement of this contributor, and two for just not spending too many of our cycles. So I'm open to going ahead with like, let's see if we can do it without content. And
that might be a good thing, and we can always add it or bias to moving fast a little bit.
And then we can suggest to this person, like, use an extension table that gets the contents, or use the carving, which is built into vanilla Osquery. But the carving is annoying. Like, you can't just get the data right in there with file carving. You have to like, it gets sent to a different endpoint, and then it has to be like unarchived, and then it would have to be matched up, and like, it's way harder than just being able to get the data directly. But the extension table works.
Yeah, I think though it's good to encourage people to get code into Osquery directly.
I do. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, I would like to see more go in. So, okay, so like shell history is one where, you basically get the whole file contents.
I don't think we would accept shell history. Well, I don't know if we'd accept it today.
I mean, I'm curious to say, like, hey, we discussed it. What we think, like, we don't really want to by default be like putting file contents in, and like there are extension tables that do this, like they're open source as well. There's the file lines table that I think we got from the Mac admins extensions, and then there's the file contents, which I feel like I maybe built, maybe contributed to the Mac admins.
I remember the Mac admins table.
File contents. No, I think maybe file contents is one that we built directly into.
That was a MacAdmins one. You might have also built it. I mean, it's
File
not
lines.
complicated.
File lines was for sure from
yeah.
Mac admins. But file lines returns each line of the file as another row, and I think that then we realized that actually, in a lot of cases, you wanted one row with all the lines, so we made file contents.
Yeah,
And yes, there were silly ways that you could join them back up in SQL, but we did that because we want convenience.
Yeah, the contributor talks about sort of being able to do things like say where content is like, some like expression, which also smells a lot like Yara to me. So I'm gonna keep engaging. I'm gonna be like, we talked at like, is there a way we can kick this forward, or what about the rest of it? Can we explore Yara? What about the existing extensions? Like, is there still value here? And see.
Okay,
I'm gonna wordsmith that.
Okay, thank you. That sounds good.
But I'll try and get that out amidst all my crises today. We have this one for Java packages too.
Yeah, I saw that one just yesterday.
I didn't know you could have Java packages. So I haven't read that one, but I mean,
it's been a long time since I've worked with Java, but yeah, like Maven and Gradle are sort of some Java dependency managers, I think.
I feel like if the code looks reasonable, it's probably fine. It feels parity with our other package tables.
Yeah, I can give it a look.
You talked about other content-based things. I wonder, like, is there interest in like JSON, like a JSON parser or an XML parser or an INI parser? Like, because Osquery has plist parsing in it, though it's buggy. Collide wrote most format parsing. I know y'all pulled those from us. So I don't know if there's interest in Osquery gaining those capabilities.
I mean, I'm less conservative than I used to be with what I would allow in from. I think at one point we were like really concerned about privacy of end users, but then when it comes down to it, like when I think about privacy of end users, it's more like I don't want anyone to be able to like look at photos that someone's got on the computer, not like you can't look at a JSON file.
Yeah,
like
ATC,
that doesn't seem really that.
ATC exposes a lot of things that you don't think about. But
ATC, because of things like browser history.
Also, if you have iMessage set up, it exposes your message history.
Oh, because iMessage, and it's not encrypted?
It didn't used to be.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, that's always
but
like
JSON doesn't feel like it touches that, right? Like JSON files feel okay to me. So I don't know that I'm particularly excited to port the data flattening code that Collide has into Osquery, but I feel like it's an interesting thought exercise.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly glad to have that, and I don't know if it's changed, but yeah, at some point we definitely adopted like the open source licensed code that you had for that.
You did.
And yeah, I think we're glad to have it.
Pat, you can thank past Seth. But no, I mean, I feel like it would be interesting to think about getting into Osquery someday. But I don't know. Okay, so what are we talking about? We said we should maybe try and get some of these open PRs merged. and then cut a release.
Yes,
Where
and
you are?
I'll like see if I can finish hammering out the boost and C++ upgrade, because I'd like to get into that. If we're going to do the major version release, I'd like to get both the Linux toolchain updates and like the boost and C++ and C version updates, all of those together. And so I think the big thing is like, well, can I finish that PR, which is just like, I thought it was going to be done weeks ago, but I just keep getting stuck on whatever's going on Windows. So yeah, I think it's just like, let's see if I can get that done, and then we figure out if we sort of back out the Linux toolchain change and do a minor version, or if we can sort of get that done, move forward, and do the major version.
Okay. Do you need any help?
I don't think so. I've just set up like a new Windows VM that looks like it's working better, and hopefully it will actually be working better. But I'm only like partway. I've only partly got it set up.
Okay. I don't think I've got anything else to talk about.
I don't think I do either.
Okay. In that case, maybe we're done.
I think we could be done.
Okay. In that case, thank you both. And goodbye.
All right. Thank you both.
Bye.
I will turn off the recording.